Crypto gaming is getting absolutely demolished here. I look at these prices and I really have to double check, is this a dream or is this the real life? Gala at 1.9, Mana 30 cents, Sandbox 32, Illuvium $44, and IMX Immutable X 60 cents, and even Render, our great superstar of 2023, still demolished in a major way, approximately 50% down. And guys, we were calling for this to happen on this channel many times, and if you've been following for a long time, you probably know we were bearish for the second part of 2023. But with all that being said, okay, with all of this demolition in the crypto gaming world, guys, this is creating an absolutely amazing opportunity that I was hoping for, that I was praying that it will really happen, that we will have an opportunity like that, and it is literally manifesting in front of our eyes with crypto gaming coins and with the rest of crypto in general. So guys, welcome back to AR7 Crypto channel once again. As you guys know, normally we go into in-depth videos about tokens like Gala, Mana, Sandbox, Illuvium, IMX, and Render. All of these tokens that we're gonna discuss today, we've made very thorough videos about its tokenomics, about its on-chain activity, and about its price action and fundamentals. So we have in-depth videos, but in this video, guys, I'm gonna actually go into more detail about all of these coins and generally about one of my major strategies for choosing the best altcoins for the next bull run. Okay, so as I said many times, I still think crypto gaming is not dead, and I still think crypto gaming is gonna be immensely successful long term, but it's gonna be super difficult really to choose the winners. Okay, some coins are gonna collapse to total zero, okay, but some are gonna do easy 100x or even more if they're gonna survive multiple cycles from here. So let's get into the video. Okay, we're gonna discuss, as we said, at least 5 coins. We're gonna discuss how can we identify the best coins that can perform the best for the next cycle. So for that, guys, I actually want to show you, okay, 3 examples today of the biggest Web3 success stories of actually 2021, okay, and you'll actually understand, guys, like many people think about Axie Infinity as the major success story, but I'll explain in this video why in a way Axie Infinity is not a real success story. Okay, you'll understand in this video why this is not a good example, but the next 3 examples, Enjin coin, Theta network, and Decentraland, are amazing examples, and you'll understand very well why, okay, for anyone who's watching here in 2023. Alright guys, so as we said, many of these fantastic crypto gaming coins are totally wrecked, and they're down like more than 90% from their all-time high. But it is something that actually happened to all cryptocurrencies in the past, okay? Every single bear market, this is what we're experiencing, okay? So for example, as we've said, Enjin coin, this was one of the biggest success stories of the last 2021 bull run, okay? And it actually existed from way back in 2017, and it also had like major success in the first bull run of Enjin coin, which was like a beginning of 2018. But then, as you can see, it collapsed also from 40 something cents to 2.7 cents, okay, that was like also 95% collapse. However, it still was able to do more than 100x, okay, in its major bull run that it had from the bottom of the last bear market to the top of the last bull run, okay. Theta network did even better, okay, so actually it bottomed at around 4 cents in the COVID dump, and it went all the way to $15. That was a 300x, okay, and Theta was also like a major success story. Some people don't know about it, as well as other coins such as Mana, Sandbox, and Enjin coins maybe, but that's because Theta network was a little bit of an early bloomer, and as you can see, their peak was in April 2021, while many other crypto Web3 gaming coins actually had their major peak in November 2021. Regardless, Theta network literally did a 300x here, okay, basically in 1 year. Okay, that is possible, and if we're gonna follow what we're gonna discuss in this video really well, and with a little bit of luck, of course, okay, we can do something similar to Theta network. Last one, guys, Decentraland was also another major success story that went from actually this one is not good, but yeah, from 2 cents to $5. So that was another 300x story, okay? And soon you'll understand why these three, okay, were something that is a lot more important to focus on, especially now in 2023, than the next equivalent thing to Axie Infinity. Although you're very welcome to subscribe to the channel, because we're going to discuss also major opportunities like Axie, okay, but in 2024 and 2025. Just the thing, guys, Axie Infinity didn't exist in the equivalent times to now, which were 2019, okay? So this is why right now coins like Axie, as I said, are just completely irrelevant, because we can't really do anything about them because they're just not launched yet, okay? But these coins, as you can see, they were here, okay, these examples that we're going to compare to the last bull run, they were here in 2017, 18, 19, okay, that's Enjin coin. Theta network launched in the very beginning of 2018, and Decentraland was also here from 2017. So these three are going to be similar to what we're going to discuss here about Sandbox, Mana, Gala, Illuvium, IMX, and Render. And of course you can apply it to other major coins. I just didn't want to make this video way too long, and I wanted to focus on a select few of really the largest crypto gaming coins that we have right now. So, okay, let's really discuss what were the ways to really identify these three instead of not losing our money in the losing coins, okay? So these three were the winner coins, but of course there were many that they were losers, okay? So how did we know that these three could be winners, okay? All of them have a little bit of a unique story, but they're all combined and they all play the same pattern that we'll have to find out within the next half a year with all of this major collapse that we have right now in crypto, which again, in my opinion, this is not financial advice, I don't know for sure, nobody knows for sure, but in my humble opinion, this new correction that we have now in crypto could be sort of the exit of the bear market. However, it could be really aggressive. It could be a lot more aggressive than many people anticipate. But I think where it's gonna find some bottom, and then finally in 2024, just like it was in every single cycle in crypto, finally we will start heading back to the upside, and then likely, okay, by 2025 we're gonna really go to a major bull run. But we have plenty of time, and now we have to analyze the coins that we have available today, which are also the larger coins where we can allocate a lot more capital, okay? So back to the coins, okay, let's go, okay, as we said, to Enjin coin, Theta, and Mana. Let me show you all of them, okay? So let's start with Theta, okay? What I have here, guys, in my last three sections here in Trading View, okay, normally we see the prices of the token against the US dollar, right? Like I have here Quant against the USDT, right? But like, for example, Send USD, Mana USD, Gala USD, and so on. Over here, guys, another really major component that I didn't discuss in my past videos that is very important to be successful in crypto is actually compare these coins, okay, against their Bitcoin valuation. Okay, so here I have the Theta Bitcoin valuation, on these other two are Enjin and Mana against Bitcoin valuation. So we'll start with Theta, and I'll explain how we can kind of look for something similar to what Theta versus Bitcoin were doing back then. How can we understand that, okay, maybe these coins that we're looking at could be as successful, okay? So this is Theta Bitcoin, okay? So let's go back here to Theta so that you can still understand that basically Theta still had a major bear market here. Right, so let's have a look on what Theta did in the last bear market. I just want to show you against the US dollar, okay, so that it still collapsed in a major way. It still went from 30 cents to 4.5 cents, okay? So it's not like it didn't have a bear market. It also collapsed 90% just like anyone else. But okay, at some point it started showing a lot of strength against Bitcoin, okay, and that was a major sign, because the majority of the coins that were not successful or relatively very little had very little success in terms of major crypto bull runs, they normally just keep bleeding against Bitcoin, okay? So for example, Litecoin is an example of that, and XRP is an example of that, okay? Let me show you, for example, Litecoin, okay? This is a bad example, okay? This is a coin that is constantly just dropping against Bitcoin, okay? So here in the bear market of 2018, you see it dropped. It had a very decent pump, but then in late 2019, you see it just continued having lower lows and just bleeding against Bitcoin. for me, that's a big no-no, okay? If I see a coin like that, I'm just completely not interested at all, because I'm not here, like, why would I even speculate on altcoins if they underperform Bitcoin, okay? I just better off buy Bitcoin, which is a lot easier and a lot less risky, okay? So Litecoin was a bad example of that, and as you may guess, I'm not gonna buy Litecoin personally, because again, it's just bleeding against Bitcoin, it's wasting my time. But, as you can see, Theta Bitcoin at the same time, especially here, you can see that first of all, it didn't really drop that much. It continued sort of being an oscillator here against Bitcoin, but more importantly here in the later half of 2019 and beginning of 2020, which we are entering this phase in the general crypto market right now. You see, the important thing here, guys, is that Theta against Bitcoin was just holding the low. Okay, for many times, just for so that you understand. Okay, this is July 2019, September 2019, November 2019, and COVID March 2020 collapse. Okay, let me show you what happened with Bitcoin at the time. Okay, at the time, Bitcoin was correcting in a really major way. Okay, so first of all, it lost a lot of support here and started a major downtrend from approximately 10K to 3.8K at the lowest point, okay? But generally you see, so it had a lower low here in September, then another lower low in November, December, and then the final low in March 2020, okay? So remember that, right? That's October, September, November, December, and March 2020. As we said with Theta against Bitcoin, it was just holding the low throughout this whole time, okay? So when we see similar crypto gaming coins, if we start to see things like that, okay, this is a major buy button sign for me, okay? So this is what Theta Bitcoin did, and you see, so when we go back, I just want you to understand, like in terms of you know, if you're sort of afraid of missing a major opportunity, right? So you just have to understand, like in the grand scheme of things, okay, like yes, Theta did go, apologies for that, Theta did go for like 15 cents or even 12 cents, but you see generally Theta was just in the same range here for more than a year, between 4 cents to like 15 cents, 15, 17 cents, okay? It wasn't that's a pretty major range, like a 3x range, but still, guys, like if you're just able to catch these prices here, okay, before the top, it was still like 100x to a 300x, okay? So by the point you reach these regions here, okay, if you already know by December, January, February, and then, okay, you still have a major collapse, this is why it's important to not go all in, okay? But you just know, like over here, okay, you will just have a lot more confidence that this coin is going to succeed in a major way in the bull run, because we know Bitcoin is going to very likely going to succeed and reach new all-time highs. So this coin is showing that it's outperforming Bitcoin already in the bear market, or at least holding the lows. Then it means it's likely to outperform, okay? And it was in a category that was also super successful, which was the Web3 category in Theta's case. So that was example number one. Example number two is going to be Enjin coin against Bitcoin. And as you will see, this was also quite similar in the sense that it was an oscillator, sort of, during the bear market. But then let me show you one more important thing. So, because Enjin existed longer than Theta, Enjin actually had some extra information that Theta didn't have at the time. So, in a way, Enjin was even a higher probability play at the time. So, why am I saying that is because, like, it actually did exist, like, prior to the peak of the previous bull run. And the really important thing is that its valuation against Bitcoin still remained much higher than here. Wasn't a bleeder like we showed with Litecoin, okay? And as you can see, similarly to Theta, it just kept holding these lows. So it held the low here, held the low here once again, and then, you know, had a major spike. Look, that was a really major bull run. It could be somewhat similar to Render that we're going to discuss soon, but it still collapsed way back, but held. Okay, and only here it had a major fake out to the downside, but over here, I would say why this was kind of, it's not that it wasn't important, but it was a very different situation, because over here, Bitcoin already went to like 30 and 40K after the prior all-time high was 20K. So over here, everything was exceptionally bullish, and it was just a matter of time until the altcoins collapse, explode to the upside, okay? So many of them kind of bled against Bitcoin, and then bam, did all of that. So basically, Enjin coin was looking like that during 2019, 2020, okay? So if we see another coin like Enjin coin that is kind of oscillating against Bitcoin and holding the lows, similarly to Theta, it is also very likely to succeed. So when we look at Enjin coin in 2019 and 2020, you can see that it was trading here between 7 cents to, apologies, that's 2021 already. Basically, it was between 4 to 5 cents until, yeah, let's say 15 cents. So, and it did reach $3.5, okay? So it was 100x or something very, very close to 100x. But once again, this coin was already larger than Theta in the beginning, and it had more history. So it was like a higher likelihood of a success, and it was another success story. Last one, guys, we have Decentraland Mana, okay, which also existed from way back in 2017. So let's have a look. How did it look against Bitcoin? So this was like a big collapse here, still in the bull run of 2017. Major peak. And then look, it was holding really not bad at all, but then it collapsed. And then once again, this is 2019 was the equivalent time to 2023, okay? So now we're in the equivalent time as to here for Mana, okay? So it did collapse against Bitcoin in a major way, but you see, like, again, once again, until that's actually the COVID dump here, you see, so you don't even see it in a major way. So basically, when Bitcoin was getting lower and lower and lower in its USD price, Mana was holding against Bitcoin really well, which again, most coins, if you guys have been here enough time in the bear market, you know really well, when Bitcoin collapses in a major way against the USD dollar, most altcoins are, you know, following even worse, meaning they collapse much harder than Bitcoin eventually. But once you start to see these signs of strength, once again holding the lows against Bitcoin, this is again showing us that it can succeed again in a major way in the bull market. So this is Decentraland, okay? So in 2019 and 2020, it was trading here from approximately 2 cents until even like, yeah, like what is it, 5, yeah, 2 to 5 cents, okay? And the peak was $5. So similarly to Theta, this one also did like 100 to 300x. So if you just bought in this region here, which again, I think we're entering an equivalent time to these times here. If you bought somewhere here, yes, like it could be in the slightly worse prices like 6 cents, but at the better prices like 3 cents, even Decentraland was more than 100x. It was a 300x at its best prices, and still like between 100 to 200x. So these were the successful examples from 2021. Now guys, let's have a look on all the USD coins that we are looking at, okay? So as we said, we're gonna discuss GALA here, okay? So right now, against USD, it's looking quite bleak, quite close to the lows of 1.5 that we've had here, okay? Mana and Sandbox, actually, yeah, to my memory, they even already have a lower low, which is already not a great example, okay? Illuvium is actually really surprising that it's actually holding the lows from late 2022 quite well here, and even the collapse in, where was it, in June, was actually a lower low. So far, Illuvium's looking better when it comes to USD. IMX, another one which is looking much better in the sense that it's not so far it's having a higher low, but you see it's having a lower low from June here, so we will have to see what's keep happening with the IMX. Lastly, Render is looking absolutely the best so far. So Render could be somewhat similar to Enjin coin in the sense that it's already a lot higher, so maybe it can have a little bit less of upside, but because it's so successful so far, it could be a much easier 50x from here, okay? So this is against the USD valuation. Now let's have a look on them against Bitcoin valuation, okay? So let's start with GALA. Okay, so GALA against Bitcoin, so far not looking great, okay, because we're getting lower lows, okay? So if it continues to be like that, okay, you've seen my fundamental videos, and generally I'm still bullish on GALA, but this is going to be another very major thing for me to consider if I want to go heavy on GALA or not. So if it continues like that, and you know, especially when Bitcoin is getting back to the bull run, okay, if it just keeps bleeding and bleeding, again, it's like Litecoin, and you know, like I'm also a major bull on Bitcoin and Ethereum. So again, if it's just bleeding and bleeding against Bitcoin, I'm not here to waste my time. This is like gonna be a major thing for me to consider. If it's gonna keep looking like that, I am not gonna buy GALA if it keeps bleeding against Bitcoin. I may be I may kind of look for a big opportunity of upside like over here, but you know, it's gonna be in 2025, and it's likely not gonna be. I'm probably not gonna go heavy. That's my point. Okay, I'm not gonna go heavy at anything that is bleeding against Bitcoin. Okay, so that's GALA. So far, when it's coming to how it goes against Bitcoin, not very great, but it can find bottom. So that's what we're gonna look for. Does it find the bottom, and does it hold like we've showed with Enjin coin and Theta? Okay, in the last bear market. So that was GALA. Let's continue with Sandbox. Okay, so let's go with Sandbox now. Okay, so far Sandbox is actually quite similar to GALA in terms that it's just in a big downtrend, and so far it didn't stop the downtrend, so it has to stop it. But as we can see here on Binance, we're actually in a big support level here right now with Sandbox. So we'll have to see what keeps happening with Sandbox against Bitcoin, but generally, you know, we have a lot more support here and a lot more history of support. You know, here we kind of have a little bit more hope for Sandbox against Bitcoin, but once again, it will just have to start showing signs of strength and stop bleeding against Bitcoin. Once it does that, it's another really great sign. Mana Bitcoin, we're gonna go and see what's happening there, but I'm quite sure Mana Bitcoin is just so similar to Sandbox that yeah, there's no you know, it's very similar, as we said, to Sandbox against Bitcoin. But you see, we still have a lot more support here, so we'll see where does the bleed stop. You know, if it's gonna stop once again somewhere here or here, and it will start showing signs of strength, of going to the upside against Bitcoin, and that it's able to outperform, that's going to be another major thumbs up for me to buy. But so far also Mana, right now it's in a downtrend, similarly to Sandbox and similarly to GALA. So as long as they do it, I'm not going heavy. The last one is ILV, sorry, the last two. ILV against Ethereum is quite interesting, okay? And the reason I'm gonna show it against Ethereum is just because it has a lot more history than against Bitcoin, because it was listed on decentralized exchanges a little bit later. But when it comes to Illuvium, okay, Illuvium actually exactly right now showing some interesting fight here, okay? So it was bleeding, okay, against Ethereum. But you see, we actually, this was actually the bottom in mid-2021, this region here for Illuvium. So Illuvium against Ethereum is looking a lot more interesting. Like, it does have like sort of much more impressive pumps, and it does kind of tries to fight this trend line here. So Illuvium against Ethereum is going to be super interesting, and I think if it's able to establish a bottom in this region over the next few months, in my opinion, Illuvium, like, I'm just going to say it right now. Right now, Illuvium is like $44. I think it's at least 100x opportunity from here. Right, so lastly, guys, I want to show you Render, okay? As we said, one of the superstars of 2023 mini bull market that we've had. And right now, Render is one of the coins that I'm really kind of laser-eyed on. You know, right now, if we go back to its USD valuation, it's having a major correction here that we've discussed, by the way. Guys, again, subscribe to the channel if you haven't seen my on-chain analysis videos as well. But guys, I've been talking about Render collapsing from these regions here from $2 something back to $1 and something for a long while, because on-chain analysis did show me that it's like exceptionally likely to happen, even for coins that are so successful like Render. But anyway, Render against USD, we're already 50% down from the major peaks here. But if we go back to Render against Ethereum, you see, so far that's like, I know it may, you know, there's a lot of noise here, so we have to unpack some things. But generally, guys, this is one of the best things that I want to see, because I just don't want to see it bleed against, as we said, against Bitcoin or Ethereum like Litecoin, okay? I want to see it at least, you know, oscillating. Oscillating is also quite awesome, you know, like, because if it's oscillating, you can have a lot of Bitcoin and Ethereum and then convert it at the right time and get even more and more gains, okay? Or you can just get render at the, you know, better prices, and you know it's gonna outperform Ethereum, okay? So far, as you can see, it's it had a major low here just before the major altcoin season, okay, in early 2021, and then another major altcoin season over here. That render was super successful, and it outperformed Ethereum by 10x, okay, at the time. And most importantly, guys, this is the bear market of render, okay. Already, I mean, I'm telling you that right now, already it's a lot better than all the other coins we've discussed here. It's a lot better than GALA, Illuvium, Mana and Sandbox, especially when it comes to that. But please remember what it actually says, that render could be just closer and more reminiscent to Enjin coin, in the sense of that you see, like Enjin coin, that's the bear market of Enjin coin, and then you see BEM, like it had a high that was quite close to the all-time high from the previous bull market, okay, and then the next low was a much higher low than in the low of the bear market for Enjin coin. You understand what I mean? So render could be very, very similar. Let me show you so that it's more understandable. Okay, so these were the lows of the bear market, equivalent to late 2018 here for Enjin coin. Okay, Enjin coin was here like 2 point something cents, and then in the later part of the bear market, after it collapsed from its peaks, it collapsed to still like 5, 4, 6 cents. Okay, still higher than here. So render could be very, very similar. Render in IMX, we still need to discuss IMX. So render could be very similar, okay, because it had again a major run like Enjin coin in the beginning of 2019, and now it can correct. And again, anything's possible in the markets, but personally I'd be expecting render to correct to a higher low, similarly to what Enjin coin did. But as we explained, okay, render is likely just gonna be a much higher likelihood of a play, which is awesome, right? But it's just likely gonna underperform you know, all the coins that we've discussed if they do establish a major bottom against Bitcoin or Ethereum, okay? So this is render, okay? But I'm super excited about it because we finally have something that looks exceptionally confident for me, okay? Because it's trending higher against Ethereum and Bitcoin, and it's succeeding in a major way, and it's exactly what we're looking for. But just the thing is that, again, depending how majorly render would correct from here, I mean, if it will revisit the lows and do a double bottom at 40 cents region, of course it could be 100x, but I'm just not expecting that. Like, let's say if it's gonna bottom at around $1, I just don't think it's gonna be 100x from the dollar, okay? But it's gonna be maybe it's gonna be a 70, 80x or something like that. That is gonna be a much higher likelihood than 100 or a 200x of something that is maybe would have, you know, like 20% that it's actually gonna happen, if that makes sense. So this is why render so far is looking the best to me. One more, of course, I don't want to forget, is immutable X IMX, okay? And IMX is somewhat of a hybrid between render and all the other coins that we've discussed, okay? In the sense of that, and like we also don't have the bull market history, okay? So it was correcting in a major way here, also because it, you know, had so much token inflation. So it bottomed here, and it had, similarly to render, a very, very impressive run, okay, in the beginning of 2023. But now it's correcting more than render, okay? So for example, render right now is $1.4 when the low was 40 cents, which is kind of similar to IMX, really. Like, they both had a low of like 30 something to 40 cents. But as you can see, IMX is a lot closer to the low, and you know, it's very reasonable that it can revisit this low once again, okay? But render is looking very unlikely to go there. But once again, we have to check here IMX against Ethereum, okay? So what the heck is this? Just a second there. Sushi swap. Alright guys, so IMX, as we've said, IMX is the other one that is looking to me quite similar to render, okay, in the sense, and to Enjin against Bitcoin, okay, because if you remember Enjin against Bitcoin, which I'm going to show in a minute, it's looking very reminiscent of that, okay. It finally had some really nice bottom against Ethereum, okay, and had a major spike, and then corrected back down, but at the moment we're much higher. Like, this is not a downtrend at all anymore. This was a downtrend here, but it stopped, okay. Over here we don't have a downtrend at all anymore. So if IMX will continue not going lower than here by the beginning of 2024, again, in my opinion, IMX is just gonna be a burning hot buy. And personally, I'm gonna go heavy on this one in a major way, much heavier than all the other coins that we've discussed, if they are unable to find this bottom against Ethereum and Bitcoin. Okay, last thing, guys, I actually also want to analyze GALA against Ethereum, okay, before we finalize and sum up the video, okay, because you see, like, when it was super important to compare it to Bitcoin, but we also have some history against Ethereum, and just because GALA was so small in 2020, that's a problem. Like, it's difficult to find some significant, data. But here against Ethereum, we have more data, so we still know that, it kind of had more support against Ethereum, okay? And against Ethereum, it's looking kind of slightly better, okay? Except, I wish we didn't have this wick, which is kind of, annoying me, and it's difficult for me to show you. But generally, guys, look, it's still looking like it's a downtrend, okay? Just like against Bitcoin, GALA right now is in a downtrend, okay? But it's just not looking as bad. Okay, it just depends kind of if GALA against Ethereum is gonna able to still push a lot higher here and show some strength. I actually think GALA is gonna be back to being a one of the major opportunities for the crypto gaming coins. But just generally, it is still a downtrend, and as you can see, the problem with this wick that it's distorting the data a bit. But as you can see, when I point here, you see like generally we're in a lower area than we were here in December 2022, even though, as you guys know, against USD, that was the low for GALA. GALA was here 1.5 cents, right now it's 1.9 cents. But Ethereum is a lot higher now than where it was in December 2022. So this is why right now, basically, guys, I will say that this consolidation here, a consolidation at a lower low than here, for GALA against Ethereum, for me, it's very bearish, okay? So right now, just technical analysis-wise, it looks like it's gonna go lower. But we'll have to see, like, actually, if it still consolidates here, but still able to push higher, GALA against Ethereum and GALA against Bitcoin is going to be another major coin. So I know it was a lot to digest. Let me sum up everything so that everything is very clear. But definitely, guys, come back to this video, especially even in 2024, okay? When you analyze the next coins that you want to get for crypto gaming, and you want to see how they perform against Bitcoin and Ethereum, because that's another super important thing to check, including tokenomics and on-chain analysis, and always do your own research as always. But it's going to be really important to come back to this video and see how it's doing against Bitcoin and Ethereum, okay? So let's sum up all the coins that we've discussed and everything we said, okay? So in the last bull run, okay, we've had 3 major success stories when it comes to gaming or Web3 like Theta, okay? And all of these coins were holding exceptionally well against Bitcoin and Ethereum in the bear market years, and also the later bear market years, like late 2019, which is equivalent to late 2023. Now, these coins were holding absolutely fantastic, and eventually they all were able to do more than 100x against their US dollar, okay? And excuse me, that was the major sign that they're going to be able to do that, because they were so successful against Bitcoin and Ethereum. So these were the past cases. Now we discussed some absolutely really the most major coins in crypto gaming right now, or at least the coins that I personally like the most from the larger coins, fundamentally and on-chain analysis wise. So all of these coins right now, most of them are still didn't find a bottom, okay? Similarly to GALA against Ethereum here, okay? GALA against Ethereum didn't find a bottom against Bitcoin or Ethereum. This is why I'm not interested yet in going heavy at GALA, because I just better have my money in Ethereum, because GALA is going lower against Ethereum. So what's the point of converting my ETH right now to GALA? So GALA is still in a major downtrend for a very long time, since basically the top of the bull run. Mana and Sandbox, similarly to GALA, are in downtrends. Illuvium against Ethereum is in a downtrend as well, but lately it's showing some really, signs of life. You know what I mean? It's showing that maybe it's gonna finally find the bottom. Again, in my opinion, fundamentally, I love Illuvium, okay? I think if Illuvium is able to technically start showing some really nice strength here, again, in my opinion, Illuvium is gonna be super awesome opportunity, but we have to monitor. Maybe this, right now it actually also looks like it could be a rejection, okay? So we just have to keep monitoring. But Illuvium, to sum things up, is right now looking better than GALA, looking better than Mana, looking better than Sandbox, but it could still look better generally against the next coins, right? So the next coins are Render against Ethereum. Render is looking absolutely awesome, looking the best from all, okay, because it's in an uptrend, okay? So right now, Render is a big, has a big thumbs up for me when it comes to its performance against Ethereum and Bitcoin. And the last one is IMX, okay, Immutable X against Ethereum. Sorry for this odd chart, let's find a different one. Yeah, so when it comes to IMX, it's kind of not as great as Render, but still awesome. This is exactly what we want to see, because it was similar to Enjin against Bitcoin in 2019 and 2020. So Render and IMX right now are awesome. They do have my thumbs up when it comes to their success against Bitcoin or Ethereum. And right now, as things are, I just listen to the market, just listen to whatever the data tells me, and I do not go emotionally in my investments, okay? So just according to the data, right now, IMX and Render, I go heavier in these two. Illuvium is the other one that I'm laser focused, like watching what it's doing against Bitcoin and Ethereum, because if it's gonna show me some other fantastic signs, I'm gonna go heavy on Illuvium as well. And lastly, Mana, Sandbox, and GALA. Right now, I'm not going heavy with them at all, because they just keep bleeding against Bitcoin or Ethereum, and I just better have Bitcoin and Ethereum. So guys, hope this video was also very helpful for you. You're very welcome once again to subscribe to the channel, to join all of the videos that we do here. Also, please leave a like, because it helps the algorithm and it's gonna help other people to see the video. And yeah, guys, have a fantastic week and a fantastic weekend ahead, and cheers as always.